they're diapers. They're diapers. So I am going to save you time with a review comparing two of the most popular incontinence underwear that people are choosing to manage their postpartum bleeding and to manage when their water breaks. So we're talking about the Always Discreet. So we're doing Always Discreet versus the Depend. And I'm going to go into the details of the differences between these two, and if you're comparing them and thinking about purchasing some, help you make the decision and save you time. Always versus Depend. Let's start with the smell, okay? It was the thing that I was most interested in when I was reading the reviews about what they would smell like, and I mean smell of the actual diaper, not after it's been used, but the actual diaper. The Always has a bit of a light smell to it. It's scented, and it's not super strong to me, but it is there. The Depend has it's unscented. And in reading reviews, some people did mention the smell. So if you are someone who is ultra sensitive to smells or ultra sensitive to scent, have allergies, and that you really stick with unscented, then this could be a deal breaker, the Always. But I would say in general, the scent is very light, very, very light. Really only when I put it right up to my nose or I'm like moving it around that I can smell it. Let's talk a little bit about how they look. Now, honestly, I think this is kind of a non-issue, but I want to cover it because it might be an issue if you're watching this. The Depends is a light pink. Let me verify what they call it. I have it over here. It's a feminine blush. I wrote that down on my notes. Feminine blush. I mean, marketing, right? So it is a light pink, the Depends, compared to the Always, which is white. If you feel like the color might help you feel better about wearing a diaper, or it just looks prettier, then the Depends might be the one you go to. For me, that's kind of a low priority because, I mean, they look like diapers. So does it really matter what color they are? They both have these little print designs. Again, who are we fooling here? I mean, does this help? Doesn't help me, might help you. I don't know. Okay, but to me, let's jump into really the meat here. How do they fit? How do they feel? They both are high-waisted, so they will come up. And if you have a C-section, planning or unplanned, they will come up over the scar. So they are very high, and that, when reading reviews, have been people's pro and con. Some people like that they're high, some people don't. I think that's nice, especially when you still have that postpartum belly. It's nice the higher that they are. Both of these brands offer a shorter, I think it's a boutique, discreet size. I think that I would avoid that when you were purchasing them for postpartum bleeding because of your body is going to be different and still have a belly. So sizing and the height is about the same as far as fit, but there is a huge difference in the leg, and that is, to me, something that is like a game changer. So let's first look at the Depends. They do not have, it's just one piece of elastic, okay? The Always has this second internal elastic piece. You guys can see it here, and I'll show you a close-up as well. And as far as keeping leaks in, I mean, my gut is to go with this, and then reading reviews, that seems to be the case, that the Always is very good at keeping in leaks. So I have got to imagine with that extra side elastic that the Always has, that it is going to be better at keeping in the leaks, keeping in the bleeding, or keeping in our leaky fluid. As far as fit, these are going to have a closer fit along the leg, the inside leg. If price is one of the main factors, they do vary, and at the time of this video and through Amazon, the Always is about 20 to 50 cents a diaper more per than the Depend. So depending upon where you're shopping, when you're watching this, it is going to vary, but it seems like from the time that I created this video, the different outlets that are selling them online, Amazon, Target, Walgreens, the Always is a little bit more expensive than Depends. So my goal is really to save you time when you are trying to make a decision on which is going to work with you. And I read a ton of reviews, both from Amazon and from Target and from Walgreens. And I will say that they were very similar as far as what people had to say about the two types. There were lots of people who loved them and compared them to the mesh underwear and the pads that they had in the hospital, and it was night and day. There were some people that found the fit of each of these that they didn't work for them. It seems like they have a tendency to be small. So if you are in between two sizes, if you're wondering if you should go up any, I would say, looking at all the reviews, you should size up in these. Don't try to get a smaller size. The other thing that, as I mentioned with the smell, that some people did report that they did not like the smell of the Always, especially if you're sensitive. And the Depends seems like the quality sometimes can be a little bit more hit and miss. And I will say with the Always, when people did give a review for the Always, they seemed to go on and on and on about how happy they were about it. Depends, they were happy. Always, it seemed like they were really happy. And I'm kind of wondering, you know, the Always company has been doing bleeding and menstrual products. That's their thing. So I'm wondering if maybe because you're using this for bleeding, that it is going to be more effective and a better really fit for that type of management than the Depends product that is more about urine, catching urine, and incontinence products. So I would say just merely for this extra protection of the double layer of elastic, that if I had to choose, I would go with the Always, even though it's a little extra pricey. Always versus Depends. The battle has finished. I think the winner is the Always. If you've tried any of these, please leave a comment below. I would love to hear. If you are ready for another review video, check out this one about hospital gowns, and I'll see you next time.